How do you differentiate your technology product in a competitive marketplace so that you gain attention and outposition your competitors to win the sale? That's what we're going to be covering off in this episode. Hello, I'm Michael Williamson, founder of TechGrowth Insights, where we believe penetrating insights drive growth for technology companies. I've spent over 25 years in senior leadership roles at major tech firms like O2, Vodafone, Staples, Equifax and Symantec, selling over $30 billion in tech products and services globally. Now I share that experience to help companies discover the customer market insights that enable strategic decisions and accelerate their growth. Join me as we explore the latest frameworks and stories about insights tech leaders can leverage to drive growth, build a winning brand and achieve long-term success in today's competitive landscape. So welcome back, and thanks very much for coming back on this video. So we're going to be talking about product differentiation mastery and innovative strategies for B2B tech companies, and that's going to be focusing on something called the value curve or the value map. And if you haven't already done so, then if you're interested in technology growth strategies, technology growth insights, then subscribe to this channel, and then also like this video, and then sign up for notifications. It really does help. So so let's get straight into it. So the product differentiation. So what we're going to do is we want to start off with something called the competitive value map. Could be called a value curve. You probably heard that as well. But essentially, this is a very, very useful tool, because basically what it does, I'll just make this a bit bigger, is what it does, it allows us to break down all of the factors that customers really care about. And essentially what we want to do is to brainstorm, and I'll show you a process of doing that, a number of different factors that customers care about, and then to rank them from the most powerful to the least powerful on the competitive factors. So characteristic 1 to 10. And then we've got the offering level, high to low. So what we want to do is to arrange this in a way that we can see what are the most important things that customers really value, what are the least important things, ranked and stacked, and then how do we feature against them in terms of the value that we're delivering on each attribute versus our key competitors. And then that's what's going to allow us to focus on driving differentiation against the things that customers really care about. And that's important, that we do focus on putting value into our products, into our product marketing where customers value it most, so we can drive our differentiation. That's all the big technology companies, when you really boil it down, really focus on. So I'm going to walk through this in terms of how you would go about completing such an exercise, and hopefully it's going to provide a lot of value for you in terms of your own product differentiation and what you're looking to do in your tech company. So ideally the way to do this is we're going to start off, and this is the way I like to do it, is to start off with a very simple strategic canvas. So what you're doing here is looking at your product proposition, and then you're working through this area in your planning. And this might be an existing product you've got, but it's most likely to be a new product that you haven't yet got. But even if it's an existing product, it's very helpful to do this and drive through this type of rigor. So essentially, this is an online collaboration tool called Miro. It's a great way of getting teams together. You can get these post-its and you can move them around, you can fill them in, you can type in them, etc. It's a great tool. So it's just miro.com. Anyway, what you want to do with your team is to essentially design what is the problem. What is the problem that customers got? And it's important to note that anything in blue here, you're taking from a customer lens. The 2 boxes in orange is from an internal lens. So that's the differentiation. But you're going to start off with a customer problem, the market problem. What burning problem which has a significant weight in the market that rests in there, and describe it. And that's what we want to do first, because we want to really understand that we get paid for solving customers' problems. That's where we create value straight away. So what is a problem that we're trying to solve for? What are the pain points that customers are going through that we can solve? Let's put those down in the problem statement. The next is we want to be getting to the solution. What's our solution to those problems? And specify what is our solution. How do we solve those problems with our solution? Then we want to write those down. The next area, once we've got the solution to the problem, we want to write out our unique value proposition. So we can just do it very high level for now. What is the unique way, the unique method that we're going to solve that problem? So we're taking a uniqueness to the solution to solve the customer's problem. So what is that? The next, and just as important, is what is the unfair advantage? So this is the moat that we're going to create around ourselves. So we may create that through features and functions, or there might be other things within our service offering, other capabilities we're drawing on. Let's be really clear about that. We don't want to launch a product that's going to be duplicated in no time. So what's the unfair advantage we've got to deliver that unique value proposition, to solve that solution, to solve that problem with that solution? And then we're going to move on to customer segments. So what are the core customer segments? How does we believe the market segments itself that we're going to focus on? And this is going to give us a firm process to really understand the problem, the solution, the unique value proposition we've got, how we do it in an unfair advantage that is difficult to imitate, what customer segments are we going to be focusing on. Then we're going to move down to the second row. We're going to be looking at the existing alternatives, what alternatives, substitutes, direct competitors, what other ways would those customers be solving their problem? Where are they going to at the moment to try and solve it? Then we're going to be looking at the key metrics. How do they measure how the problem is being solved? Is it in, what kind of SLA? You can put some metrics from a numbers point of view. Is it to do with cycle time? Is it to do with speed? Is it to do with availability? What are the key metrics that customers will measure in whether that solution is successfully solving their problem? And then we're going to write in the high level concept. So from all of this, what is that? And this is basically if you could term it your elevator pitch. If you were stuck in an elevator with somebody for 30 seconds and somebody said, what is that solution to my problem that you've got? This is how they would articulate it. So you want to put yourself in the customer's shoes, articulate it in their shoes. Then we're going to look at the channels. What are your routes to market to connect with those customers? And then finally, from a customer point of view, who are the early adopters? So we may have a group of customers. Which customers are more likely to purchase first, more easily, their lowest hanging fruit? And that's going to give us a great guide to what is the solution, how is it targeted? And then at the bottom, we're going to look at what's the cost structure, the cost drivers of this product, and what are the revenue streams as well. And that will give us a really good framework to then move on, because what we want to do now is to look across this to say, okay, we've done this strategic planning process to make sure we've got a fantastic proposition that's done in a unique way, that's difficult to imitate, solve customers' problems, and we know which customers they are. we want to then move over to understanding what the key features and functions of that solution are. So I've filled out some here. I've just basically filled out some examples of what could be a cloud-based CRM platform. So I put 10 different features and functions. So from contact management, lead and opportunity management, campaign management, email marketing integration, collaboration tools, workflow automation, reporting and analytics, customization and flexibility, mobile accessibility, we're on the move all the time, and then integration with other tools within the overall marketing tech stack. So what you'd want to do is to have a session with the team to brainstorm these. You know, what features and functions of the solution do we want to put in place to ensure that we drive that strategic outcome. And it's really important not just to dive straight into features and functions, because then they're not related to anything. So by doing this small canvas first, I know it's another additional step, but what it really makes sure is that we look at this canvas and say, these features and functions, are they really part of the unique value proposition and solution? Do they capture our unfair advantage in the way that we set out? Or are these just totally disinterconnected things that don't actually help the customer solve the problem? So we want to start off with that mindset, that framework first. So I have the brainstorm and then populate this in this way. And then you're going to basically pick the top 10. We're going to then move over to another example of this canvas. And what I've done here is, this is the feature value perceived by customer. I've just put the different features on here of my cloud CRM product that I believe have the highest perceived value by the customer. So I'm saying that the number one thing that customers want is contact management. And then I put efficiently store and manage client information, including contact details, communication history and preferences. That's the number one thing. The number two thing is lead and opportunity management, to track and manage leads and sales opportunities to ensure effective follow-up and conversion, all the way down to the least important of the 10, which is integration with other tools. The ability to integrate with other tools such as project management, software, social media platforms and financial systems. So that's what I've got on here. And then now what I want to do is I want to essentially score these. And it's always good to have the team around you to do this. But we're going to see, right, the red ones are us, competitor 1, and then we've got competitor 1, competitor 2, competitor 3. Then what we want to do is to basically say, realistically, where do we sit on this? So we might say, I think we're an 8 on this one. Let's do the next one. Where do we score on this? I think we're maybe a 3 on that one. This one, maybe we're really high. This one, we're maybe medium. This one, we're really high. This one, we're maybe low. This one, we're maybe high. And then maybe these 3 were low. So that gives us a really good view. Then we might want to say, well, competitor 1, and we'll do this exercise for all of them. I'll just do competitor 1. So in terms of the other feature here, we might say that one's here. Competitor 1 in terms of feature 2 is here. Competitor 1 feature is here. Competitor 1 feature is here. And competitor 1 feature is, say, here. that one is maybe about the same, that one is middle, and that one's middle, that one's kind of middle, and that one's kind of middle. So now we've got this view, now we can start to take some strategic decision. Now ideally what we'd want to do is to take this to customers and take 15 or so customers, enterprise decision makers, and then to actually go to them, have the interview with them and validate, are these features the ones they care about, and then get them to rank them in the order, and then to get them to score you and your competitors on their perceived where you all fit. So that's a better way of doing it. But either way, you'd initially always do this from an internal perspective, and then you'd validate it with the customer and get them to tweak things and validate what you've come up with. But this becomes really useful because we can say, look, we're already providing more value than our leading competitor here. Now, this is the most valuable thing. Can we boost this? If so, how? To get clear market leadership. If so, that's where we should be putting our focus on. With this one here, we're trailing on the number 2. That is still, this is lead and opportunity management. We're behind on our number 1 competitor. How can we get this up and brainstorm the ways to do that? And we might want to think, right, this is what we're going to do. Now, we may well stop at this and just say, we know that customers care mostly about these 3 items here. So we're not going to try and fight everything and redeveloping a product for all the attributes. We're just going to be really, really good initially on our first themes and epics around these 3 key elements. And we're going to have standout value. Whenever we're ranked by customers, we're going to come out number 1. That's enough. And it doesn't matter that these 8, 9 and 10 at the bottom here were actually low, because in a relative, if we try and get number 10 up here, we're putting just as much resources as getting probably number 1 to the top as the 10th thing, but we're getting less traction, less product market fit back from that. So this is basically a pretty straightforward way for you to get product differentiation, lead your competitors, and then get your teams around working with you to plot this. Of course, impact assess it with customers. That is a crucial thing to do. But this technique alone will allow you to significantly have a more strategic view rather than just assumptions and internal discussions with people and somebody's got a hunch on something, to put a plan in place, a strategic process where you can understand how is value created, what is a product market fit, how do you compare against your competitors, what dimensions do you want to over-index on, and then which dimensions, to be honest, we're not going to worry about these. Maybe we'll do them in release 3, 4 or 5, but at the moment our priority are these top 3. And that's going to drive you forward in terms of your market appeal. So I hope you like this video. That's a shortish video on how you can drive product differentiation. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you're interested in learning more about Tech Growth Insights and how we can help, just you can look at the main video tagged to the top of this page, and we're always open for discussions with you as well. So all the best, and thanks very much until the next one. All right, all the best. Bye.